Good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Caffeinate Your Career. We're laughing. There was all kinds of hijinks going on just a moment ago.
We can't get anything to work on.
It's one of those days. You would think that we've never done this before.
Have we?
No, not in 2 weeks. We're back though. Welcome back to Caffeinate Your Career. We were off
for the Jewish holidays.
We're past for Passover. I was working on that joke all morning, and it still does not work. It's terrible.
We passed 2 weeks.
Welcome, though, to Caffeinate Your Career. Today's topic...
Let's start over.
All right. Welcome to Caffeinate Your Career. Today's topic is going to be... Stop laughing. You're making me laugh. Today's topic is going to be job scams. I'm your host, the career coach with the most, Jason Hopper. With me today is our sensational Senior Director of Career Financial Services, Miss Allison Harding. Allison, welcome to Caffeinate Your Career.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I am checking to see if we are live, and that's kind of working. Allison, let's talk about job scams.
Okay.
First, have you ever been contacted on a job scam?
I do get contacted often because I go into LinkedIn and other sites looking at jobs for clients. And when you do that, oftentimes your email address will be taken, or if they look at it, my phone number or my, my email, everything. And so I get these crazy offers for offering you a job for $75,000 for part-time work. Just
Right.
Sign here and give me your bank, your social security, it's not even realistic.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, does that even sound like?
It sounds wonderful.
Right.
Not true.
But like if you read the thing out loud, and it's like, that doesn't even sound close to correct.
And
right?
we're going to talk about not opening any of those things, but
yeah,
we're going to talk about all that stuff. But there's more and more of those scams coming out. And one of the reasons, Jason, have you ever gotten any?
I have. Okay. Yeah, the last.
Because you look for a lot of things too, John.
I do. I'm on LinkedIn somewhat. I'm on LinkedIn all the time. No, but the last one I got a direct message, and it said, "We've reviewed your profile and think that you would be a great candidate for this position. We are currently recruiting registered nurses." What?
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm like, I did do a contract where I did recruit medical professionals, but that's as close as I have ever gotten to being a medical anything in my career. So, yeah, obviously I did not respond to that message. Yeah. But there's a lot of and I wrote it in the notes. I was going to say, there's some jerks out there. I wrote it in the notes. There are some vile people out there who are specifically trying to prey upon job seekers. And job search is hard enough.
It is.
It's difficult. But except for that, but it's not only hard enough, but now you got people that are trying to take your identity and take your money and, just not at all nice.
So they're preying on vulnerable people. If you've become unemployed or you've gotten a divorce and you're going back to work and you haven't done it for a while, or you find yourself in a situation where your bills are adding up and your income isn't increasing equal to that, for some reason, these vile people know how to prey on those people that are vulnerable, older adults who are on Social Security and are looking for a part-time job to help subsidize themselves. There's all these different scenarios, and you have to be extremely cautious. And if you don't know what to do, if you're not sure One, don't open it. Do not open it. Do not give any information out. Do not tell anybody anything that is privileged about you. And if you're unsure, call Jason or me.
Yeah, that's the so okay, we are live. Okay.
Good.
Yeah. That's the thing too, is you have to be vigilant. And make sure that you are doing your research. And that's gonna come up here in a second. But like the first thing, like let's talk about how to recognize potential scams. And the first one is they're asking for personal information right up front. They've got your resume, they've got your phone number and your email, but like,
and they've got that because you've got it on LinkedIn or other places also.
Right.
So, you know.
So then, like, if you're contacted by somebody and they're asking for like your social security number or your bank account, like right straight up front, that's a scam. And actually, like, real employers are not going to be doing that.
So they may say something like, just so you know what to look for, we would like to do a background check on you. Please send me your social security number. They don't need your social security number to do a background check anymore. Legitimate companies can do it from a driver's license or from other information where you've lived for the last 10 years, all that kind of stuff. Do not give anybody your social security number.
But also, too, they're not going to be running a background check until here's your offer letter. Background checks cost money. Companies aren't going to spend money before they even start the actual interview process.
Right.
Like some of this stuff should be somewhat intuitive, but again, if you don't understand the way job search works, you get scammed.
Yeah, they're going to try and say things to you that you're going to be unsure about so that you'll give information. Again, give no private information. And until a company has met you, interviewed you, talked to you, and as Jason said, most important, given you an offer letter, don't give anything out.
Yeah, so that's the other bit is if they're asking for banking information, like you said, like how that usually works is, okay, so we're interested in moving forward in the process. We want to make sure that we get everything set up and for onboarding, and we need to set up a direct deposit for you. So we need your bank account information.
Now, you've never met these people. Remember that.
They go, what? Wait, just happened? You just want my bank information for why? Right? I say think it through. But again, what happens is you get that fear, and you haven't been on an interview in a minute, and you start to go, worry.
This might be real. This could be something legitimate.
This is my new job, right?
It's not.
Yeah.
It is not.
That's the other thing that you mentioned and touched on. It's like there's no human interaction.
Right.
So here's how this scam usually works. You will be contacted by somebody, usually on LinkedIn through a direct message. And they will tell you, just like, hey, we're interested in your profile and you could be a great registered nurse and, click here. And then they want you to go from LinkedIn to WhatsApp or Google Chat, where they will then try to get your phone number. And then when they get your phone number...
If you go to WhatsApp, they do get your phone number, just so you know.
Yeah, right. And so then they've got your phone number and your information, right? Because that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
And then they send you links to things that either have spyware, where they could get into and start looking at things in your phone, or malware, which will just go and basically destroy your phone and your computer and apps.
And that's when you get threats like, if you don't send us $500 immediately or credit cards, we will blow up your computer or your phone or whatever it is. So that's why you don't open that stuff. That spyware is dangerous.
So if a legitimate employer is always going to contact you in some way, some form, right? Like it will be either they will, and this will, we're talking like they could email you to set up a time to talk.
Oftentimes.
But they will do that. But like you will be having that interaction with them at some point.
Right.
Right?
And that could be on Zoom or in person.
Yes.
But you also need to know the location of the company, the name of the company, what the job is, what the job description is. You know, why are you being called? What qualifications do they need that you have? So you have to look at it as if, not as if, you have to look at it carefully to make sure that it is legitimate. If somebody emails you and says, we'd like to talk to you at 4:00 on Thursday at this address, great, you know it's a legitimate organization. But if you get an email that says, we'd like to hire you starting a week from Monday, they have never talked to you, there's no personal interaction, guess what? They're not real.
They're not real. That's the other part. That's the next part. The recruiter seems off. And so usually this will happen through a series of emails. And what happens is, as the emails is, kind of keep moving through the process, like sometimes things will change. This just happened to a client of mine. She called, and so what happened was she was contacted by HR from this company and for this particular employer. And then like the SIG file changed at the end. It was like a different name of the employer. She goes, well, that's kind of weird. And so she kept a log of the conversation. And then what she ended up doing was calling the company and speaking to, she explained what was going on and asked to talk to HR, got to HR. The HR rep said, oh, no, that's not me. That's not anybody from the company. Somebody else just reported this. So it's like a legit type of scam. If things seem a little kind of off to you, they probably are.
So recruiters are hard to work with. Jason and I were both recruiters. We know this. We understand it. They're not easy to work with, but you still have to be very, very diligent in weeding out the bad ones from the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing that, if they send you an email and it's from their private Gmail account, don't respond.
Yeah.
If they're not working for an organization, or if they're not working for a company, or they're just trying to I don't know, scam you, don't respond. It's too dangerous.
So, we are live. It took forever for the damn thing to connect. So, if you have questions, I can see the chat now. So put those in the chat. That's a very good point. Now, I will say there are some small companies, right, that they don't have the website and everything built out. There's an employer that we work with, and he's a legit employer. Like we've got, I got somebody hired on over there for him, and we're working on an additional person for him. And his email though is his Gmail account.
That's true. But he does have a website.
He has a website, and you've got to do your research. Right. Check everything out, right?
But we are okay, so here's the other thing. You come to JFS. We help you with your resume and do everything. And then we hook you up with this company, and he is using his own website. We're legitimate. You know we are. You've been here. You've been on Zoom. We've corresponded. So if we've sent you to someone and they're using their personal Gmail or their personal Yahoo or whatever, that's fine. But if somebody out of the blue emails
no random people.
Yeah,
right.
I'm Allison Harding, a recruiter in Paris, and I'd like to hire you as a fashion designer. You can start in 2 weeks, and this is I need this information for. No. And my address is AllisonHarding@gmail.com. No.
But also, too, you've known Logan for years.
Yes. I actually ran into him at the gym last week.
Yes, because he told me that he said something nice about me. By the way, if you do need help in your job search, you can give us a call at 972-437-9950, extension 379. Leave a message. Somebody from the team will get back to you in 24 hours.
So as we're talking about websites, really good scammers create fake websites.
Yes.
How do you know it's a fake website? What do you look for?
A couple things. First off, is the website actually built out? Do they have a careers page where they have jobs, probably multiple jobs listed? Is there a mission statement? Right? Do they have pictures of people that are employed there? Right?
Yeah.
Like you go to our website, you can see your smiling face and my smile. We're both like this. And our JFS white t-shirts. You can see our mission statement, right? You can see it's at the very most careers, like join our team. It's usually at the very bottom of everybody's webpage.
Where you get additional information.
Right, and then you can click that, and you can see what jobs that we have open right now. These are all things that most legitimate websites have. Any like fake scammers, their type of websites, if they create them, they're not gonna. It's just something that they just threw up there just to appear legitimate. Do your research. Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Glassdoor? Can you Google them? Right?
Also, many of the websites, when you go into the site, it's HTTPS.
For secure.
S stands for secure.
Yes.
It's a secured website. Scammers don't secure their websites because they're not going to pay for that. And so that's another way for you to look just even at the address. HTTPS. 2 dots, 2 lines, names, that kind of stuff.
The URL.
URL. Thank you. I couldn't think of what it was called.
That's why I'm here. All right. Also, check your recruiter. Like if somebody's contacting you, they should be on LinkedIn. 95% of all recruiters.
Listen to that number.
95% of all recruiters are on LinkedIn. If they are not on LinkedIn, if they do not have an online presence, if they do not have a complete profile, now let's talk about complete profiles. Because oftentimes, and I've seen it, I met some recruiters a couple of weeks ago and went to go connect with them. They didn't have a banner pic. Okay, that's one of the things you need to have a complete profile. Are they legitimate? Yes, I met them and they are real people, but they did not have a banner pic. But they did have jobs posted on their site. They did have contact information. They have a profile listed where this is where they were. No, you don't.
Do I need one?
No, you don't. There's a reason for that.
I know.
Allison. All right, Allison.
Not yet. Soon.
All right. You can also check them out on Facebook, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Like there's a place on Facebook that says where do you work? Like if you go look at my Facebook, it will say Jason Hopper, employed at Jewish Family Service.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, you're not friends with me on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I haven't posted anything in like.
So why should I be friends with you on Facebook?
You're friends with me in real life. You don't need to be friends with me on Facebook.
Do you want to see my picture in real life?
I saw them yesterday. Emails. We just talked about this. Emails don't have the company domain, right? If you want to email me, my email is Hopper at jfsdallas.org. So Allison's is the same. It's A Harding. Like at JFS Dallas, the last part doesn't change. So anybody that is emailing you from a Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, AOL, if they're ancient, not a real person.
Especially AOL.
I always laugh when I get clients that have AOL accounts. I'm like, okay. There's no physical address. Use Google Maps to plug in the address of the company and see where they're located at. They will be listed on Google if they are a legitimate company. It is okay for you to ask them, hey, is this a McDonald's? Because it's coming up on Google Maps as a McDonald's or a dance studio.
So, there are certain questions. Sometimes you'll get an email or just a telephone call because they have your telephone number somehow that says, hey, I saw you on LinkedIn and we have this job for you and it's great. And ask them where ask them for a legitimate address so you can look them up on Google Maps and see where they are and what that address says, who it is. And if you can't find that, they're not real.
Yeah.
So again, there's little hints and cues for you, but you have to do the research. It's not going to pop out because these are really smart people who are cheating the system and lying and scamming. And so they've created a system.
That's the other thing too is, do they have any employees listed on LinkedIn?
Oh, good one. I never even thought of that.
Look them up on LinkedIn because, again, some places will come create a fake LinkedIn profile as a company, but do they have any employees listed there? And that's the next bit. Do the employees have profiles? Because if the profile is set to private, it will just say LinkedIn member. And if you can't see an actual person that works there, that's probably a good indication that this is a scam. Like if
this is a fake name.
You go to JFS LinkedIn, you will see me, you will see Allison, you will see Daisel and Kathy Barker, our CEO. She is listed. Everybody's listed that works pretty much everybody that works here is listed as an employee on JFS.
And so, again, there's Jason just gave you a whole bunch of them. There are certain clues. If there's just a picture of them that says private, you don't want to go there. That's not who you want to work for or be with or be scammed by.
And also think about that for a minute. Why is every employee that's listed as private? That is shady AF. Think about it, guys. The other thing, you don't have an interview. Companies are not going to email you or text you like questions and start like trying to start conversations. That's not a thing. You will have a video chat minimum, if not an in-person interview. And that leads me to my next thing. Oh, no, not my next thing, but it's coming up. And we mentioned this a minute ago. If it's an entry-level position and the salary is really high, that's not a thing. And it was funny because I was doing my research and writing the notes for this episode, and so I went onto Google and I typed in data entry remote, and the first two that popped up, $75,000.
Yeah, no way.
No, that's at best a $15 an hour job. At best, that's $30K. Right. So I was like, wow. Like, I just in doing my due diligence, is like, I'm kind of curious. Put it, the first two, both listed at $75,000.
So I'm going to talk about two examples of things that have happened. We had an older adult client who was in need of finances. Her Social Security wasn't covering it, and she had a small pension, wasn't enough money, and she needed a job very badly. And she got this email for a job for $75,000 or $80,000, and she wanted to respond. So she brought it into me and said, "Can we call these people?" I'm like, no, we're not going to call them. We're not going to talk to them. We're not going to anything them. And she said, "But it'll be on your JFS phone number." And I said, "I understand, but these are scammers. They want to lie and cheat you and take whatever money you have. And there's not much there anyways. Don't give them any more." And she didn't. And they kept getting in touch with her for like a month, and then boom, nothing. Yeah. So that's one. Two, we work with an older adults group at one of our partner organizations, and they did respond because they thought it was real. And they ended up realizing what they had done, and they immediately went to the bank and had to close everything out and start from scratch. That means, your automatic payments, and that means your checking and your savings and everything. And they had already tried to get in, but the bank had something and didn't let them. Otherwise, within an hour she was at the bank. Who knows what could have happened? Yeah. So these things are real, and these people are smart, and they work fast. If you give any information, They take it and run.
Yeah, and that's coming up, but it's another common scam is you're hired, you get to work remote. Guess what? We're going to send you a check so that you can buy your computer and office equipment. So we need you to deposit that. But like once you deposit it, now it grants them access to your account. The other way this works is,
listen to what he just said. They'll say something like, we're going to send you a check for $5,000 or $10,000, some crazy amount. Buy what you need and then just send us back the rest. Well, once you cash that check, once you put that money in your account, they then have your account information, and that's how they get in.
Mm-hmm. And the other way it works is they ask you to, they'll send you the check, and they want you to wire transfer money back to them.
Yes.
And you get to keep the remainder as a bonus. That's not a thing, guys. That's not a thing.
You don't get a bonus before you start working.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's not how that works. Another.
Boy, I wish it was.
That would be something. Another thing that is that should get you kind of that might not be real is there's no contact information from the recruiter. Real recruiters at real companies will have a SIG file in their email. It'll have their name, their job title, their phone number, their email,
their address,
possibly their address. Like if that's missing, that person probably does not exist. As
a recruiter.
Well, yeah, they're a real person. They're just a scammer. Emails have grammatical errors and typos.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I mean, mistakes happen, and I am not a very good typist, and I screw up a lot of things, but like spell check fixes it for me. And every now and then you'll screw something up, and instead of THEIR to THERE. But if there are a lot or more than a few typos and grammatical errors, this is probably not a legit thing.
So I just got one yesterday. And I had to read it a couple times because it sounded really good. But there were two typographical errors in it. One, they left off an ES at the end of a word. I can't remember what the other one was. But yeah, you have to look for things. And I buy things online often. I really do. And a lot of times they're scams. And so if it's not a legitimate company that I know, I'm not going to buy.
Yeah, should be a good rule of thumb. The other thing is you'll get look at job descriptions and they're not very exact. They're just kind of really blurry about what it is that you're actually doing and the position. These can be on LinkedIn or Indeed or just any job board. They're vague because they want to try to pull in as many people as possible, but once they do, then it's again they're going to try to get your personal information.
The next one is the interviewing process is too easy. TOO, too easy. What's that mean?
So some scammers will actually go and interview you, and I think it was either on this original post for the event, or my post yesterday on LinkedIn was, "Hey, watch our live stream." But Natalie Spencer, who watches the live stream, had written a fairly lengthy comment and said that this happened to a friend of hers, where the person conducted, I think it was like 3 interviews with her friend. Her friend finally kind of caught on because the interviews themselves are very generic. They're like, "So, why are you looking for a new job, Allison? And what did you do at your last job?" They don't really get into the meat and define what the actual job is. The end goal in it is they want to go, "Oh, well, this is great." And they offer you the job either right after the interview, like on the spot.
Very rarely.
Or like the very next day. And what they're trying to do is get you to fill out that quote unquote new hire paperwork, which has your personal information, bank account information, like all that stuff. And that's why they do that. But some scammers are going as far as actually interviewing people.
So the reason that we're going over all these scams and talking about this so much, a lot of people want, and there still are remote jobs out there. When there are remote jobs, sometimes you don't get to walk into a building and see or talk to someone.
Yeah.
It could be a hiring that's done out of Boston, Massachusetts, but it's going to be with a legitimate organization. And if you are not sure of that organization, do not give your private information because anything could happen. You have to really do your homework and do your checks and balances to make sure that it's legitimate, especially if it's completely remote.
Yeah, you're not going to be getting a job offer after the first interview. There will be a minimum of 2 interviews.
Right. People have to be very cautious today when hiring because it's so expensive. We just talked about this the other day. It's so expensive to replace someone on a job. It's just really costly.
So they want to make sure they're making the right decision and investment in you. And so there's probably going to be at least 2 interviews. And before they get to that point and we get the job offer, I mean, make sure that you're, like you said, doing your research. Ask questions about the company and the culture, like to kind of figure out if it's someplace that you actually do want to work.
So we talk a lot in the past, and we will always talk about behavioral interviewing. People ask you behavioral questions. You need to do the same thing, especially when it's a Zoom call and in person too, but you don't get that's different. But on phone calls and on Zoom, you have to ask questions where they have to be able to give you information about the organization, and ask them what their process is for training, or ask them what the expectations are at 30, 60, 90 days. They're going to have answers for you, and if they stumble, guess what? Not real.
Here's something that's you want to look out for is if the role requires you to recruit other people. Unless you're a recruiter and it's a recruiter role, you don't need to be recruiting other people. That's a pyramid scheme. If they want you to contact your friends and family and try to get them to buy into, that is a multi-level marketing scheme. I actually, when I was younger and I'd left my first staffing position, I was looking for another role, and I went to this whole thing. It was like a whole room full of people, and everybody gave their presentations. And, oh my gosh, so the product is great, it'll sell itself. And then when you just like, and then they like took me and like 2 other people, and it kind of in a different room, and it's like, okay, and so we really think like they're really selling it, and then,
you believe it too, because it sounds so good.
Sounds so good. They like set up an appointment for me to meet the president or whatever. I didn't really show up. I didn't go back. This is not necessarily a scam, but jobs that are 100% commission based.
There are many out there, and there are many that are legitimate.
Yes.
There are many that are can pay very high salaries, commission salaries in the long run. But Jason has some important points here. Go ahead. It's hard.
It's so hard. I worked as a contract recruiter, 100% commission.
Ugh.
It was rough and it was ruthless. It was one of those things like if you had a candidate, if you hadn't called or talked to that candidate again in 2 weeks, somebody else from the store could take that person from you. It was so hard. It was just, and it was, I do not recommend at all.
I'm not going to say don't recommend them. A lot of people's living is done through completely commissioned salaries. If you are good at it, and if you've done it before, and if you are confident in the product and yourself, do it. You can make money. But if you are doing it because you're scared and you need a job and you think there's going to be some money coming in, I don't know how fast that's going to happen.
I mean, if you're really good at sales and your ability, go for it.
Go for it.
I mean,
do it.
And it was a lot of stress, but I would never go back to it.
And that's not your strength. And I don't know. I've done sales for years. I don't know if I would do commission only because I don't like that kind of stress. But if you're good at it and you like it and you can make money at it and you've done it in the past, go for it. But if you're doing it because you're panic stricken, don't do it.
Other things to look out for: job posts that read in all caps, work from home, earn $, $sign. Yeah, that's not
probably not the right.
First off, most companies right now are at best doing a hybrid model. So there's not a lot of complete work from home type.
There are some.
There are, of course.
We're not saying zero to any of these things. What we're saying is there may be better options for you, and that's what you have to look into.
Yes, and the last, if it sounds too good to be true,
it
is. If this sounds like, oh my God, this is the dream job that I've been waiting for, no, it's not. It's just not. Use your gut, guys. Like if your gut's telling you, this might not be the little legit, it's probably not. Every time I always went against my gut, something bad happened.
I know, and we do it all the time for different reasons. But in today's world, we just have to be really cautious.
So, Allison, if you think you're getting caught up in a scam, it's always best to try and contact the company directly, just like I told the story my client did. Or in your case, it's like, and this happened to a customer of mine when I was at the workforce in Plano. And he's like, oh my God, I got this job. They sent me this check and I just put it in the bank. I'm about to go. I'm like, hang up with me right now and go call your bank and shut down your account. Like he got to it in time before they took like all his money. But if you start to feel like you're in the middle of a scam, just completely shut it down as quick as you can.
Yeah. The world's changed, and so we have to be really, really careful. And again, if you're unsure about anything, please do not hesitate to call us. We are here to help you all the time. And so our phone number, 972-437-9950, extension 379. Right. And you're going to be doing mock interviews next week, yes?
Yes. We do have a mock interview program. It is virtual. You can participate anywhere in the world. Next week is full up, but if you are interested in doing the next round, email me. My email is the letter J, Hopper, HOPPER @jfsdallas.org, and put mock interview. They are Tuesdays, the second and fourth Tuesday of each month from 1 to 2 o'clock. Central Time.
And if you email him this week, we will put you on a wait list if you want to try and get in for next week. And if there's a cancellation, we'll give you a shout out.
And also coming up this Thursday, we have a networking event.
What is it about?
It is about...
Oh, is it Scott?
It's Scott Butnick.
We have a recruiter coming.
Scott Butnick is a
great
career term recruiter, and he will be here to ask any questions you have about recruiting. So if you want to know what recruiters actually think and how they select candidates or what they look for on a resume
and why you haven't been selected,
come in to my building 3 o'clock this Thursday, the 9th, 3 to 4:30, and you can ask Scott questions about the recruiting process.
Is it going to be a hybrid
It
event?
Is not.
Okay.
But come on in and see me. I'm at 5402 Arapahoe Road, Dallas 75248. And we have a GED program that's coming up.
Thank you for remembering.
It's June, right? June and July.
Yeah.
I just saw the flyer today.
Yeah, it'll start in June. It's a GED program. It is through Dallas College. It is here at our Connected Learning Center. It is free of charge. There is an on-site facilitator. So as you have questions or events, it's not an online event. You'll be learning online, but there's going to be a human being with you all the time. It's going to be in the evening. So if you're working and you want to get your GED, you can do that. It's 2 nights a week. I don't know what nights it is. I'll be honest with you. I think it's Tuesday, Thursday.
That sounds correct.
I think it's Tuesday, Thursday. I don't know all the details. Anyways, if you're interested, you can get in touch with me, A. Harding at jfsdallas.org, AHARDING, or J. Hopper, JHOPPER, at jfsdallas.org. Put GED on the subject line. We're also starting a new class in ESL in August. We have a beginners, a second tier, and a third tier, all continuing. They're incredible classes. Again, these are in-person classes, and so you're really learning. And as an example, our tier 2 people over the summer, so that they don't forget anything, are just coming on Zoom and doing conversations. In the fall, they'll be back in person. So there's a lot going on here. And starting June 3rd, we're doing a complete series on personal concerns. And so that's going to be at the JCC here in Dallas. And the first one is on how to eat right. We talk about that all the time. Everybody talks about it. But this is someone who's coming in to speak about what you do right, what you do wrong, what you can do better, how it helps you, how food affects you, all sorts of things.
Food affects me real well.
Me too, I'm afraid.
All right, Allison, we're pretty much, there's a lot going on. Guys, go to jfsdallas.org. Look at the calendar of events. We've got so much going on. We just kind of hit like the first, this weekend, like some stuff next week. I'm doing a presentation later at the Workforce in Plano on how to overcome barriers in your job search. That's at 5:30 this evening. At least I think I'm still doing it. They called in the middle of this presentation, so I got to follow call. But there's a lot going on. We have so much going on around here. So much going on. Allison, we're at time. Here's the fun question for the day, and it is one that is an ongoing question, but it always changes because we're always watching new stuff. What TV show are you obsessed with right now?
Absolutely none.
You're watching sports, right?
I am watching the Mavs right now.
Yeah.
That's my only obsession. And we were in California last week with our grandkids, in the Mavs, the Dallas basketball team, were playing the Clippers, which is the LA team, and so there was a battle in hell going on. We won.
I've been watching on Apple TV a TV show called Sugar. It's got Colin Farrell in it, who I love.
Oh, I heard about it.
And so it's on Fridays. I just caught up from Friday's episode. Quite the twist at the very end. My mind is like, oh my God. There's 2 more episodes left. I'm like, my mind is blown. That's all I can say. If you have Apple TV, go and you like Colin Farrell, go watch Sugar. It's awesome. All right, guys. So next week's Caffeinate Your Career. You'll be here, and we are talking about the 5 most difficult interview questions to answer.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
Should be. Until next week, we will see you then, and hopefully see you in person this week at Ask the Recruiter Thursday. This has been Caffeinate Your Career.
3:00.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for viewing.